Alright. Everything is recording now. I gotta find my stupid document again. It's somewhere. It's here. Fine. We're ready. Oh, fuck. Alright. That's it. I'm making this video. And you know why? You wanna know what my motivation is for making this? I hope you're ready for a dashboard confessional. If you're a content creator struggling to make things happen, or for some strange reason you're curious as to what I've been up to on a personal level these last couple of years, stick around. It's story time. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do in content creation for like the last 2 years. Yeah. Ouch. I've literally dreamed of the day that I would wake up, go into my studio, record a fun video, share it with my Gremlin Army community, rinse and repeat. But if you've been following this channel for any amount of time, you will have either forgotten about me completely, understandable, or you will have noticed that my time between uploads is... But hey, I'm here, and that means something, right? Okay, my track record, it isn't good. But I am here recording this video, and I'll tell you what motivated me to take this dry spell and squeeze a water drop out of it. Was I finally hit with the fleeting wave of inspiration that I've been needing to get it done? Lol. Listen. With my levels of ADHD, I walk around inspired by everything, all of the time. I mean, so long as it's on my set list of hyperfixations, but trust me, there's enough on that list that I'm always on a hype train leading somewhere. When deciding that I wanted to actually pursue being a content creator, I went from what felt like living a life in a tiny box to suddenly stepping out into a world of possibilities. Cue decision paralysis? Kinda. The thing is, there's unfortunately more to it than that, and not to diminish decision paralysis as a concept, because yes, it's definitely a thing. But I haven't really been, quote, paralyzed, which would imply that I've either frozen up or avoided decision making, which I kind of have, but hear me out. The thing is, I haven't been standing still. Since the moment I left my previous job and my roommate warned me that I'd get bored, I've been moving. Fast. In fact, I've worked so many 12-plus hour days that I put my old pet store overtime hours to complete shame, and trust me, those were some long weeks. Crazy, huh? Because here I am, a tiny nobody content creator with hardly any numbers on any of their platforms. So what's the deal, right? It's not hard to look at my numbers and my time invested and assume that I just suck. And I'm not here to tell you that I don't, but it's gotta be the right person. Okay, I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. The reality is, while yes, inevitably, some people are gonna be more naturally gifted at certain facets of content creation, and some will have better luck with the almighty algorithm, the rest of us who still wanna pursue making content as either a hobby or a career can make it happen. I see it all the time, where I'll uncover a channel and they'll talk about the struggle of their early days and how they had to work hard to grow their channels even without a specific blessing from the gods of content. The only ingredients you really need are a genuine desire, a willingness to work and learn, and... consistency. I know you're calling me out right now, Rhea. I swear to God I can feel your judgment all the way across the house firing directly at my tender bits. Mod, if you're watching, you probably got a good sigh in as well. I confess, pretty much anyone who knows me to any degree, and has known me for any real length of time, has no doubt encountered some of my most obvious characteristics. Number 1, I'm an idea machine. This never stops. It's a truth of my existence that I have to live with. There is no off switch. It's the tab that won't close until my whole computer crashes. It's the source of some of my greatest happiness and some of my greatest misery. See, the world is big, and it's full of amazing things to do and experience. So sue me if I want to try literally everything. It is definitely the world's fault for being so interesting. Projection is a healthy cope, okay? Number 2, I'm a workaholic. You might never guess it, but I am. At the time of this recording, it's been days since I've watched anything besides a click video every couple of days when I eat lunch, or played a game other than the stupid shameful puzzle match game that I play when I'm trying to get my brain to relax enough to sleep. All of my time is spent working on various projects in one way or another. There's a big issue here, and yeah, we'll get there. Finally, inconsistency is my only consistent trait. This has caused me to endure countless lectures from my loved ones, and this particular issue is probably the biggest bane to my existence as a content creator. If it were just this, a remedy probably wouldn't be that difficult to conjure up. Unfortunately, as with anything related to being human-ish, it's a multifaceted issue. So, it's like this. I have no idea if this is an ADHD thing or not, but I have a constant need for mental stimulation. And unfortunately, this means that I get bored of things fairly fast. Thankfully, I guess, I never actually have time to get bored, because 98% of the time, long before that happens, I'm abandoning that idea that I had to pursue a new one that's come along that I have somehow convinced myself is a natural evolution of my past ideas, and thus makes the most sense to pursue. To make it worse, each time I have the confidence that this is gonna be the one that I stick to, and oh hell yes, I can feel it in my blood, that hype juice pumping through my veins, my whole body rising from the ground like a DBZ character about to ascend into their final form, and I will have arrived in my purpose that I can then dedicate my life to and finally achieve. And then, well, you know how DBZ is. There's always another bigger baddie and another stage of transformation. So, should I chalk all of my issues up to bad writing? The truth is, as silly as it sounds, there's a comfort that I get out of this analogy. DBZ is a series beloved by many, and one that I myself still enjoy, despite what appears to be a pretty ridiculous hamster wheel that it runs. Why is that? Well, for one, nostalgia. The thing about DBZ is that even though there are changes throughout the series that seem to be escalating continuously in a never-ending chain, it doesn't entirely take away from the fact that each stage of that is still enjoyable and unique enough that, from a zoomed-in lens, it looks like so much more than the repetition fest that it feels like when you zoom out. Holy fuck, that was a run-on sentence. I should go back and fix that. Point is, you're still enjoying these characters in this world that you've come to love. If Toriyama, rest in peace my dude, had stressed about this issue to the point that he never published the series, we wouldn't have this amazing thing to enjoy. He went for it, and despite what can be criticized about the series, the love for it is completely undeniable. And our lives are that much better for its existence. Now that I've said that, I kinda regret it, honestly, because I was not trying to set this up to sound like I think I'm any comparison to an amazing creator like Toriyama. Please don't take it that way. Holy frick, it just helped me squirrel my way over to my point, okay? That's all. I'm just a lowly dragon foxy. I'm obnoxious and quite often just a lot. Everything I do with the intensity of trying to go Super Saiyan with none of the coolness. Instead of being able to save my friends from deadly villains, I more often than not fill their ears with my latest big ideas, only to be hit with a wallop of shame later when they ask about something that I've made zero visible progress on. It's tough. And while my ignorance is quite something to behold, it doesn't shield me from this reality. I can see it, and it's just as frustrating to me when I watch myself spin circles like a short-circuited washing machine that won't stop until everything inside has disintegrated. My biggest hurdle isn't one that I like to admit. I've got a reputation to uphold, at least in my head, of being the cool guy that's ready to take on the world. Being the cool guy that... really? Bro. But I also believe in transparency as the best way that we can connect and understand one another. So, to the detriment of my fragile, self-labeled image, here we go. The biggest factor to the root of my inconsistency is fear. And it's not just one level of fear. There are many levels of fear, oh joy, each stemming from a different aspect of the jumbled mess that is me. One of them I know many other creators will relate to is perfectionism. Despite all the memes over it that I've laughed at over the years, it hasn't loosened the grip of this issue. Perfectionism is a plague to so many amazing creative minds, and even to the weird blob inside of my head. I could probably, and might, do a video dedicated to that all on its own. When you're starting a journey in content creation, you'll likely have some creators that inspire you in the direction that you want to go. I find for myself and many of my friends, these creators are often some of the biggest in their field. We can tell ourselves 1,000 times over that they didn't start out that way. But without having experienced that side of them, it doesn't really change how it feels. It feels like they were born superstars who were tailor-made to do the thing that they do so well. It's hard to change that perception, no matter how much direct logic you throw at it. That concept does work for some people, but for a lot of us, it's in one ear and out the other, and we can't make it stick, no matter how much we might want to. And so, despite that logic, those people in their current state of greatness become the ruler that we want to use to measure ourselves. And when we don't meet that metric, it can feel like we just weren't made with that same stardust. And the next thing you know, we're drowning in shame. To use my earlier DBZ example again, so it seems less like a one-off ADHD tangent, it's like never feeling ready to join a fight because we haven't reached Super Saiyan God. Never even giving ourselves a chance to grow from the ground up with small steps like Goku and Krillin. We step out before we even begin because we aren't already a mighty warrior. And that may sound like a perfectionist is egocentric, thinking that something is only worth doing if they're the best of the best and they just can't be bothered otherwise, but I can tell you with no uncertainty that there's no feeling of self-importance here. For many of us, it's easy to acknowledge that we'll never be the best, even if the whole concept of best wasn't subjective, which it is. It isn't about us thinking that we're above the grunt work involved in getting to those levels of accomplishment. I've seen many perfectionists work themselves to the bone. The issue I've found with how we measure ourselves isn't even about just comparing our work to the best out there. It's literally from comparing ourselves to anyone who isn't us. Trust me, I did my best to fight my therapist on this one because logic brain dictates that there are certain objectively obtainable criteria that are possible to acquire from my chosen idol skill set, and certainly once I apply those things and obtain those skills, then I'll feel that sweet satisfaction that I've been craving. I didn't win. Funny thing about that, even if you reach a level of objectively similar skills to someone you admire, it won't feel like it. You likely won't even recognize it. The pursuit of perfectionism is, by definition, an impossible task. But putting out anything that isn't on the level with the best creators out there feels like it won't be worth anyone's time. And in fact, my mind likes to take it a step further and think, how horribly egocentric of myself to even attempt to be in that space where those others shine. I have no right to reside anywhere near their throne. And so, I back away. Who in their right mind would waste time with a Dragon Foxy when there are so many more interesting creators out there to watch? Yeah, you heard me. And if you're here, what the heck is wrong with... No, I'm just kidding. If you're here, you're my favorite. Thank you. But that's the feeling. And it's a constant fight. Thankfully, I have developed a totally professional way to handle this exact issue. And it's... avoidance. You see, I developed a very clever and specific skill for getting that satisfaction of feeling like I'm engaging with the content that I want to make without ever publishing a single thing. And that solution's actually pretty simple. It's prepping. Yep, I'm a doomsday prepper. Well, maybe not quite. But the deal here is that I am perpetually redefining the things that I need in order to actually take the leap that I'm wanting to take. I explained it to my therapist like this. It's like having a burning desire to go swimming at the beach. I love to swim, okay? So this is relevant. Hang in there. So you want to go swimming at the beach. It's all you can think about. It's so fun to think about. how it's gonna feel, the sights, the smells, the waves, the sand, everything has you so excited. You know exactly how to get to the water. It's a bright, sunny day. It's a perfect day to go swim. But you gotta make sure you're ready. I mean, this is a big deal. And you can't be caught unaware, right? So you gotta prepare. You get your bag, the coolest one you have, you grab your swimsuit, grab some sunscreen, grab a towel. We are out the door, ready to roll, baby, let's go. But wait. Sunscreen is kinda old. It may not even work anymore. Probably better to be safe and go to the store to get a new bottle. While you're there, you can grab some snacks, and thank goodness you thought of that, because holy heck, it could have been a total disaster to get all the way out there to the beach and not have snacks. In fact, it could have been a threat to the entire experience. Whew! Crisis averted. This is definitely worth a couple-hour detour. Okay, new stuff acquired. Check. Now you're sitting in the car, ready to roll again. But a thought sneaks in. Am I being selfish? Wanting to go all the way to the beach just to swim? I mean, a lake, even a pool, should be just as satisfying. It's basically the same, and to think otherwise is being kinda needy, isn't it? Unappreciative? You've got that little blow-up pool in the backyard. Maybe, before we go being all crazy, we just, go play in the blow-up pool. Yeah. You can definitely make the blow-up pool feel just as good as the beach. You're just gonna need a little creativity, but I mean, that's what you do, right? In fact, you've straight up prided yourself before on being able to make the most out of a little. This'll save you from the guilt of wanting too much, you don't need as many things, it's a win-win all around. So, you go to the hardware store, grab some sand to put around it, a cool pop-up umbrella for shade, a neat little table to put beside it for your drinks and snacks. It's gonna feel seriously so fancy, just you wait. But after shopping at the hardware store, which took way longer than expected, it's getting late now, but that's fine. Tomorrow you'll spend all day working on your little pool setup and it'll be awesome. So, you do exactly that. You work tirelessly and it's coming along so nicely. So nicely, in fact, you think to yourself, I'm having a lot of fun designing this little pool area. Maybe I don't even need to swim. Maybe this is my thing. Designing neat little spaces, this is great. And I might even be able to make money at it. Which is so much more logical than something that only ever costs money, right? Woohoo! What a great decision! So over the next couple of days, you do research, even buy some supplies to start following your new career path. Everything is looking up. Except, the best way to relax after all this work you've been doing would sure be a nice swim. Yep. You never finished putting up your little pool, though. You designed the space around it, but never really finished the pool itself. You look at it, and you feel kinda sad. As cool as it is, you find yourself longing for the beach still. And now, it's been days. You don't want to have just wasted all this time and money on these other things, right? That feels horrible. So, surely you'll come back to it. You'll make it work. Nothing has to get left behind. It's fine. It's all part of the plan. You can't shake the craving for the beach. That burning feeling that you originally had to go swimming. It's back now that the distractions have faded, and it's back in full force. Then maybe you think to yourself, it's really not so bad to want the real thing. You spend some time and you hype yourself up. Fuck it, we ball. No sunken cost fallacy is gonna hold you down. Better now than never. Let's grab our things and pack. We're leaving for the beach first thing tomorrow. So you do. You're all packed up and ready to go. You dream about the waves and the sun and then hop out of bed the next morning to see that it's raining. Not just rain, but some thunder and lightning too. You can't help but feel pretty heartbroken. Maybe you worry that it's a punishment from the world for wanting more than you should be asking for out of life. It doesn't seem like that much to want to go to the beach for a swim, but maybe it is. And the guilt sets back in. You don't want to waste your day, so what can you do? A rainy day seems like the perfect time to do some more work and research on your little design project. Looking up some ideas gets you feeling so inspired that you start to think, maybe it's for the best that I couldn't make to the beach. This thing is really fun. For a while, at least. After a few more cycles like this over days, weeks, months, you finally can't take it anymore and you make a huge breakthrough. That's it. This time, we're going to the beach and nothing is standing in our way. We have our stuff, we're prepared for this trip. We have prepared for this trip so many times over, there's no way we're missing anything. We are ready for this experience. You get there, you find a place to park, and everything feels awesome so far. Just like you imagined. You get your feet in the sand, and a rush of joy runs through you. This is it. You hear the waves, you can taste the salt in the air. This is the feeling you've been wanting. You made it. Each sandy step gets you closer and closer until you're standing face to face with the water. It's beautiful. The turquoise waters are so pretty, you almost feel emotional. It's been so long that you've been trying to justify getting to this point, to just experience the thing that you've been wanting. But as you see the waves getting closer to your feet, a sense of dread sneaks in. You know, it's been so long. This sunscreen is kind of old now. It may not even work anymore. Probably better be safe and go to the store to get a new bottle. While you're there, you can grab some snacks, and thank goodness you thought of that because holy heck, it could have been a total disaster to get all worn out from swimming and not have snacks. In fact, it could have been a threat to the entire experience. Even after all this time, you still managed to forget something. What a mess you are. Anyway, crisis averted. This will definitely be worth the couple-hour detour. It's wild, isn't it? But this has been me on repeat for so many months. And if you've struggled with it too, I get it. It's fear, guilt, and I've tried to mitigate this with control. It hasn't felt bad a lot of the time because since it feels like I'm always preparing for something or working on something, I must be making progress, right? And again, when you're prepping for something, you get to think about it, engage with things related to it, and it gives you a false sense of actually experiencing the thing you've been dreaming about. But you're still not actually living the thing you wanted. So, my careful skill hasn't exactly served me well. However, I've learned a lot through all of this. At the beginning of this video, I told you to prep for a dashboard confessional, and here we are. The cycle has been vicious, and if anyone watching here has been struggling with something similar, you have my deepest sympathy, because I know how much it can hurt, and how much it can keep you in the spin cycle. Since I'm here on your phone or computer screen, I can say with some confidence that I have broken the cycle enough to at least get my feet in the water. I can finally feel the coolness of the ocean, and it's amazing. After all this, what was it that enabled this step to finally happen? What magic has so enveloped me that I'm finally doing something I've been putting off for what feels like an eternity in Fox years? It's...
spite.
Yep. That's right. You heard me. And as much as I would love for that to be a joke, it isn't. It's 100% hardcore reality, baby. SPITE. My community is notorious to tease, and I wouldn't have it any other way. my roommate as well. And all of my close friends. Am I just collecting a certain type of people? Whatever. Anyway, they're all generally kind enough that they lean towards comfort when the topic is one they know is important to me. But let's just say a perfect storm happened. A storm that I want to fully acknowledge still wouldn't have snapped me out of this cycle if I hadn't been working on a ton of groundwork lately, building my confidence and getting out of the chokehold that perfectionism and self-doubt have had on me. But I'm finally to a point where I've put in enough work on those things that when a couple of people made teasing comments about what I'd actually get done this weekend, Rhea, I said, you know what? Fuck you. It's happening whether it's good or not. So thanks, you assholes. I love you and appreciate you. And please know that I did this with the sole intent of proving you wrong, and it feels great. Okay, maybe that's not the sole intent. You guys just hit my competition nerve is all. The strange thing about this is that sometimes comfort and kindness keep you dependent on validation from others, because it's in constant supply. It's a dangerous dance when you're low on confidence, but I guess I've gotten just egocentric enough that when the jabs came in, I looked inside for my validation, which never happens, and I finally had it in me to say, suck it, you assholes, I'm doing this and it's gonna be fun. And it was. I enjoyed the scripting, I enjoyed the recording, the overdramatic reading, all of it, at least until the part where I'm kicking myself in a minute when I start editing and realize how long I made this. Oops. Anyway, if you're still here, feel free to roast me in the comments and let's see if I can make another spite-fueled video. I have so many video ideas that if I don't get moving, I'll never make it through even a fraction of them. So by all means, I dare you to fuel that fire. In all seriousness though, I'm feeling pretty good. My feet are in the water, so let's see what we can do. If you're a struggling creative, just know there is a place for you in the creative space. And there are ways to break the cycle of struggle if you're caught in it. Focus on you and your happiness, as hard as it is. Allow yourself to reach for what you want, even if every bone in your body screams that you're being selfish. And you shouldn't. It's like the old saying of courage isn't the absence of fear, and it means the feeling to fear and acting anyway. I don't know the exact quote, but I'll put it somewhere you can see it. The same is true here. You're gonna have some negative emotions trying to fight you. And they're really good at keeping you in your comfort zone. I have a surprisingly cute video idea that I want to make around that topic as well, but I can't keep you here forever, so I'll leave you with this. If you have the drive to be a creator, you can do this. If some little knucklehead like me can make progress, you've definitely got this. And as I learn and grow, I'll do my best to share any advice I come to along the way. And if you have advice, I'd love to hear it too. Let's help each other. As for my personal content journey, I'll do my best to honor this opportunity to start breaking my bad habits. Don't worry, not every video is gonna be a super long talk fest like this one. I've got a lot of plans for some funny, quirky videos, some art videos, some meme reactions. It's gonna be a good time. Let's not be so long between hangouts next time, yeah? It's my fault, I know. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next wave. Later!